Alright, so, at this point, knowing I'm going to be facing many mages, I think I will get in there and eat an elsewhere fondue. And hopefully I can find some more moon sugar soon. The Gates of Whiterun is a good place to check for that. There should be Khajiit somewhere around there. If I'm lucky anyway. Alright. Oh, that's right, I accidentally ate that elsewhere fondue without even meaning to in a previous play and never made up for that.
Oh dear.
That was all part of the same complex mix-up that meant I lost those flame-resistant boots, too. Quite a mess.
Yeah, so it's an accidental eating. I thought about making myself a new one, because I shouldn't have consumed it, but didn't do so. Oops. This is unpleasant. Yeah. Could clean out these boots somehow.
You did just get a fine pair.
I did, but these are my magic boots.
Ah.
Is that like bait to make it...
Skeever trap.
Oh, skeevers, that may make more sense, yes. I thought it was a trap for me, but...
Oh.
That's why I just reached down for cheese in the sewers. Something crawling on the floor. Either a person sleeping or like a low-lying monster.
Skeevers.
Probably not skeevers. They'd be smaller. Maybe a frostbite spider.
Oh.
Oh, that would be hostile to a person. I was right. Multiple frostbite spiders. Well.
I remember this place.
Fight each other. Said fight each other. We're fine. No match for me anyway, it turns out. Corpses in water often make continuous splashings somehow. It's kind of mysterious. I'll get a little bit of magic back. You can see I regenerate substantially faster now that I have this bonus from my restoration skill. Then I'll run in, I'll loot them on the way. No, someone on top. He may be a Nord. Ice mages are often Nords. It's the only type of caster that can be one. That means it's super effective against my Atronach, but it also means it's not resistant to my own fire spells. So. And if he keeps using that kind of spell on me, I'll get magic back so fast I'll just toast him easily. Well, one element is yours to command anyway. The lamest element. Nice job there. Well, you know, let me read this book. I've talked a bit about this before. Aedra and Daedra, or perhaps Aedra and Daedra. This book has been around since more or less the beginning. Since Daggerfall, I believe, which is the first one that had readable books, as I recall. The designations of gods, demons, Aedra, and Daedra are universally confusing to the layman. They are often used interchangeably. Aedra and Daedra are not relative terms. They are elvish and exact. Azur is a Daedra both in Skyrim and Morrowind. Aedra is usually translated as ancestor, which is as close as Cyrodiilic can come to this elven concept. Daedra means roughly not our ancestors. This distinction was crucial to the Dunmer, whose fundamental split in ideology is represented in their mythical genealogy. Actually, I don't recall them ever mentioning it like that. They just like some Daedra for some reason. Because they're evil. Aedra are associated with stasis. Daedra represent change. Remember talking about Anu and Padme, aka Sithis, in the previous book. So Aedra are associated with Anu, Daedra are associated with Sithis. Aedra created the mortal world and are bound to the Earthbones. Daedra, who cannot create, have the power to change. As part of the divine contract of creation, the Aedra can be killed. Witness Lorkhan and the Moons. The Moons may or not actually be made of Lorkhan's corpse, it's unclear. The Protean Daedra, for whom the rules do not apply, can only be banished. The distinction is actually a little bit less clear-cut than that might have you believe. For example, Meridia is often said to be a Daedric prince, but she's actually an Aedra in that she helped create the world. She just then kind of left. So.
Malakath is also an oddity, because he apparently started off as the Aedric spirit Trinimac before being turned into a Daedra when the Daedra Boethia ate him. Possibly literally.
Well, yes, let me see what's up ahead here with that. There is one enemy soon up ahead. And a potion and more potions. Potions are good. I'm carrying quite a lot of them. A trap of some sort. But what sort of trap? Remember, I didn't see anybody over here, I don't think. No. Just that direction. Friendly's in there. That's strange. This place is dark. Could be a trap. It doesn't look like there is one. Strips, mostly junk items. Oh, a chest. It's rare for them to give you a pointless dead end in Skyrim, so I always kind of explore places, even though they are just like random little closets like this one. These guys keep a very messy apartment. Could use that, I guess. Probably just sell it instead of like zombie spells as you've seen. Right. So a trap on the ground here, and some sort of person in that room. Probably another mage. A mage would be unlikely to step onto this trap, so let me instead find out what it is from back here. Guards down that passageway. I could perhaps use that on the person in that room, but it sounds like here he or she comes.
Just quickly right onto that
Oh wow.
thing that just exploded.
Yes. Right onto a rune there. What an idiot. They set this rune, and then they... Now, dark elves. Well, in that case, I could probably use ice, but I'll go with lightning instead, I think. He's pinned in here, so it'll take massive damage from the Atronach. He can't avoid it, and I'll just fry up his magic as fast as I can. He won't really heal himself. Oh, good luck with that one, sir. He's supposed to be a summoner himself, he's a conjurer. There's like 5 types of mages. There's, you know, fire mages, obviously. Ice mages, also obvious. Lightning mages. Conjurers summon Daedra, and necromancers summon undead.
I never see a restoration mage.
Although they all do have restoration spells, which is why they're so dangerous. They can heal themselves up fast if you can hurt them. Oh, here are people who are not alive. Vampires. Well, looks like they've been locked up in here, injured. Perhaps I will... see what happens if I let just one of them out. I can defend myself on one vampire easily enough. You're gonna attack me? No. You're going in there, they're gonna attack the mages. So, everybody out!
You know, the first time I did this quest, I did not see those levers, so I went and picked every single lock to get it done fast enough. And then I went and followed the 2 that were alive and saw the levers.
I think this is a fire mage, or elf, I mean, dark elf. Looks like the vampires are getting the best of this place overall. That's good for me. The novice stormers. The vampires can raise the dead, among other powers. Hard for me to tell friend from foe in here. There's some kind of foe over there. Cowering. Yeah. Not gonna save you. But that made that possibly difficult fight much easier. I could have won it, of course, just using my Breton ability to just, get infinite magicka and be immune to their attacks, but I want to save that. Oh, they've murdered some Khajiit in here. Looks like they've been doing all kinds of unethical and murderous experiments. That's probably why they're kicked out of the college, where, again, people are mostly reasonable. Vampire dust. Hope the vampires don't mind me just taking the dust of one of them. Where did that one I killed end up? Somewhere over here. Oh, I may actually need a light in here. I'll concede that. I've seen a couple places here where I could use lights. Rare, but they do exist. But of course, you could just be a vampire. Oh, another master vampire. These guys are quite accomplished to have captured so many master vampires. Yeah. So undead people collapse into dust. And that's what the answer to my question to. Well, I've unleashed a bunch of vampires on the world. Didn't really mean to do that. I was hoping they'd get killed. Perhaps I can hunt them down. Ash piles. That was probably an ineffective summon there. There they are. Vampires. Now, vampires are a form of undead. Waiting around here. The prey? Don't flatter yourselves. Kelty doesn't like vampires. They're kind of a local pest in Cyrodiil. So, like mud crabs.
So I'm not planning on killing him yourself?
Oh, he'll become one himself, but he still hates regular vampires. I thought these guys would turn and fight me. They usually do. Nothing on them but vampire dust. Which, again, you can turn invisible. It's kind of like a poor man's invisibility potion. So, and it's less weighty, too, but it lasts much less time. May as well carry a few around. There's no quest that gives you massive rewards of money for them like there was in Oblivion, I don't think. like the Order of the Virtuous Blood. Did you complete that quest line?
Yes.
Yes. I remember you started. I didn't remember if you finished it.
Yeah, I haven't sold them anything yet, though.
Well, I think I remember you selling a bunch of Vampire Dust at one point.
Well, maybe I did when sold them what I had on me, but I haven't gone back to sell them.
Gotcha. Hostile. And friendlies in there.
Are those friendly wolves?
Apparently. Ouch, that did a bunch of damage to me. Well, I may summon here. Let's see what's happening in there. It looks like the wolves might be attacking this person. Hopefully. Alright, so I'm just going to heal up with that mana that he gave me. Are these regular wolves? Okay. Yeah. I can't tell what his race is because he's on fire and whatnot. But he's an apprentice storm mage, so... Hopefully I'm not twisting my own action out too much here that it turns hostile. They can do it even though it's not hurting them. Great. Good job, boy. So, Orthorn in here is pleading to be let loose, so he must have been the blue friendly guy who I saw before.
Don't leave me here! Yes, yes! Did Archmage Arin send you? He sent you to rescue me.
Does that sound like Arin? Does he actually do anything ever?
What? The book? Oh. Oh dear. I shouldn't have taken them, I know. It was stupid. I was stupid. It won't happen again. Help me get out of here, and I'll help you find them. Please.
I will actually do this, although I won't usually have followers, simply because he actually has some useful dialogue and adds some information about this fort. So it's interesting.
She's the one who put me in here. Please, let me out of here. They threw me in here until they were ready to use me in one of their experiments. This wasn't supposed to happen. I thought they wanted my help, not to use me as a test subject.
Not terribly brave.
No, it's the levers in the center there. Just make sure you don't pull the wrong one.
Nothing bad happens if you pull the wrong one. Just lets out the wolves. But the wolves are... You don't like being here. Really.
Thank you, thank you. I promise I'll help. And then I'll go back to the college and I'll beg them to let me back in.
That always goes over well.
Yes, of course. I said I'd tell you, didn't I? The caller will have them. She was most interested in one of the volumes. Although not interested enough to keep me from being locked up.
Well, no, because she had the book. What does she need you for?
Oh, you've saved me. Thank you so much. I promise I'll help you get out of here. Alright.
So he's kind of a weird follower. Doesn't always function as intended. Let's open up this door, see if there's something good behind it. Again, so when quests make you use followers, or in this case it adds a bunch of flavor to the quest, I'll use it, but I'll never take one voluntarily. That was some bad picking on my part. There we go. Can't even move it the wrong direction like that. I knew it was the wrong direction, I did it anyway. Well, potions and money. Most of the rest of the stuff is just junk. Okay, well, this way I believe leads outdoors. It's that locked door from before, in the courtyard. Anything else living or dead around here? No. It's kind of lying on the table for who knows how long. It's going to keep a very messy house, so I won't be eating there.
Lost!
It's a whisper! It's a whisper! It barely makes any sound. It's one of the hardest to detect shouts in the game. Some of them are louder than others. This one can be detected, but it's very quiet. They're doing target practice over there. Did I get that guy? Yes, I think I did. We should fight each other now. Oh, no. Well, we'll see if they fight each other or not. Hard to even tell what's going on in there. I don't think it's nothing, though.
This is the place where they're practicing.
I think so, or undead targets or something. I'm pretty badly injured. I don't want him standing here. Get out of my way! Uh-oh. I'm going to send back and heal a little bit. They blocked me, so that went fairly badly. But if I can hit one of them with a Fury, yes. Now they'll be hostile to each other too. They'll all be scorched by the Atronach. It's going to go pretty well here.
Man, Orthon is just punching them out there, huh? He seemed like just another prissy high elf. Maybe he's not such a wuss after all.
So a little bit of a clumsy fight there, but went. Fire Mage, can't tell what her race is. Looks like a Dark Elf, perhaps. So fine, switch to Sparks. Orthon, I don't want to... Good question. And you kind of should have known something was bad about them from their carrying human flesh around in their pockets and stuff like that. Something should have tipped you off along the way. So yeah, they have live or undead targets back there. I don't think they can actually be rescued, and you wouldn't want to anyway.
Well, no, but extra experience from killing them all.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Yes. Target practice for myself. Oh, there is one still alive in here, huh?
What do you need, handsome?
Oh. Oh.
Insert obvious pun about being hot.
Spigot. That's odd. The Black Arrow Volume 1 is not a skill book. It sets up the story in a rather boring way for the more interesting The Black Arrow 2. But I don't sense any nearby... Oh, no, that's not it.
Lost!
Any ahead? Oh, there are several ahead. Okay.
The Undercroft is ahead. Necromancers. Be careful.
So this thing's lying there, probably undead that will climb up. So, let's see if I can... Look, they're actually aware of me yet. Let me see if I can Fury that guy. Nice. Then let's charge in here. Someone on top of them. Right. Are they getting up behind me? Yeah, one of them is. Just a harmless little skeleton. These guys are much easier now that have improved fire damage and whatnot. It almost feels like it's more than 25% sometimes. These skeletons get up one at a time, so if you just kind of charge in like that before they're ready for you, you can wipe them out pretty easily, like I did there. Skeleton will take that, I guess. Where do the undead guys go?
I won't hold back.
He knows something is here, but I don't see it. Is that guy through there? Maybe the collar is through there. Or maybe the... not the empty wine bottle. Where did the necromancer go? Oh, there she is. Looks like a dark elf. So... we'll get her along behind here, and... I dare. Use the little tomes. This is... next zone? Most of the way here. Wait, no, they call this the Undercroft, but aren't we like pretty high up in the place at this point? Did I miss-see that?
Lost!
Did you start by going down through the sewers?
Yes, but we rose a lot from there, didn't we? There are several things in there. I don't know what they could be from their shape. Are they alive? They're all alive. That one looks like a wolf. There's a friendly in there of some kind. I doubt that's... Okay. That was strange. But I think I feared the right person. Well, I got nipped a bit by that familiar. Orthon, don't use words. They're terrible. I don't care what Tolfdir told you. Again, I won't be using summon staves. There's more than one enemy in here? Okay, I better get an Atronach of my own out here. run around the back, see what there is around here. Another tome. Oh, this is a conjuration book. I'll read that later on when I'm not in hand-to-hand combat with a bunch of mages. That went pretty well. Oh, soul gems. You know, you think their value as like gems alone, besides their soul value, would make them worth more than just like a few septims. Like they are like a gem.
Did you hear something?
Maybe like quartz crystals are just kind of common.
Yeah, I just picture him rifling the path of crystals. This will help heal your soul.
Is that a permanent atronach? Well, I gave you some mana there. Thank you. Ooh, there's more enemies ahead. I don't really like fighting here. Now, it's just called Flame Atronach, not such and such characters Flame Atronach. Therefore, I believe it is indeed a permanently summoned one. Now, this is going to become a tricky fight. Uh-oh. It's going to become a very tricky fight. So, Orthan got himself beaten up. You are a mere novice storm mage, in over your head. Gonna give me more mana? Does that seem like a good idea to you? Oh, raise the dead. Undead mages are pretty dangerous. Because they can use their full powers. So. But then they crumble to dust like anything else. Or to ash, I guess. Let's go finish off that Atronach. A good selection of tomes out of this place, if nothing else. Necromancers are pretty weak in combat, generally speaking. The dangerous thing is they just raise other mages who may be better combatants. I took out a lot of mages in one big messy fight there. I hope Orthorn's still alive somewhere. No, he's dead. Huh. Oh well. I wouldn't have killed him anyway. I wanted him to spread the word about how I was both like an invincible enemy and like a friendly guy if he just surrendered. But, oh well. I think I'll walk away and recover. So he would have given me a few more, tips, and then when you get to the collar, you can offer to just trade in Orthorn for her just giving you the books, and she'll accept the trade and actually be pretty friendly, unlike most RPGs where this kind of, it's a trick and they don't actually make the deal with you. But, not necessary. Let me read this thing while I wait. So, Conjuration Book, The Doors of Oblivion, by Saif Ij-Hijja. When thou enterest into oblivion, oblivion entereth into thee. Nigh Tyro Lar, whoever that is. Sounds like that famous quote from Nietzsche, who, by the way, is a terrible philosopher. Greatly overrated. The greatest mage who ever lived was my master, Morian Zenas. You may have heard him as the author of the book On Oblivion, the center text for all matters Daedric. Despite many entreaties over the years, he refused to update his classic book with his new discoveries and theories because he found that the more one delves into these realms, the less certain one is. He did not want conjecture, he wanted facts. For decades before and after the publication of On Oblivion, Zenas compiled a vast personal library on the subject of Oblivion, the home of the Daedra. He divided his time between this research and personal magical growth, on the assumption that should he succeed in finding a way into the dangerous world beyond and behind ours, he would need much power to wander its dark paths. 12 years before Zenas began the journey he had prepared his life to make, he hired me as his assistant. I possessed the 3 attributes he required for the position. I was young and eager to help without question. I could read any books once and memorize its contents, and despite my youth, I was already a master of conjuration. Zenas, too, was a master of conjuration. Indeed, a master of all the schools and unknown schools. But he did not want to rely on his ability alone in the most perilous of his research. In an underground vault, he summoned Daedra to interview them on their native land, and for that he needed another conjurer to make certain they came, were bound, and were sent away again without incident. I will never forget that vault, not for its look which is plain and unadorned, but for what you couldn't see. There were scents that lingered long after the summoned creatures had left. Flowers and sulfur, sex and decay, power and madness. They haunt me still to this very day. Conjuration, for the layman, unacquainted with its workings, connects the caster's mind with that of the summoned. It is a tenuous link meant only to lure, hold, and dismiss, but in the hands of a master it can be much stronger. The Sigit and Dwemer can, in the Dwemer's case perhaps a should say could, connect with the minds of others and converse miles apart, a skill that is sometimes called telepathy. Although it's said that the dwarf didn't actually use magic, this is kind of contradicted elsewhere. Over the course of my employment, Xenos and I developed such a link between one another. It was accidental, the result of two powerful conjurers working closely together, but we decided that it would be invaluable should he succeed in traveling to Oblivion. Since denizens of that land could be touched even by the skills of an amateur conjurer, it was possible we could continue to communicate while he was there so I could record his discoveries. The doors to Oblivion, to use Morgan Xenos' phrase, are not easily found. We exhausted many possibilities before I found one where we held the key. The Psijics of Artaeum have a place they call the Dreaming Cave, where it is said one can enter into the Daedric realm and return. Iachesis, who was historically head of the Psijic Order before they vanished the first time, I suspect that he was murdered perhaps by his successor, but we have no proof of that. Sothasil, one of the Tribunal in Morrowind, Nematai, no idea who that is, and many others have been recorded as using this means, but despite many entreaties to the Order, we were denied its use. Kellerus, that's the new leader of the Order, after Iachesis, has told us it was sealed off for the safety of all. We had hopes of using the ruins of the Battle Spire to access Oblivion. The Were Gate still stands. There's a whole game about the Battle Spire. Though the old proving grounds of the Imperial Battle Mages itself was shattered some years ago in Jagar Tharn's time. Sadly, after an exhaustive search through the detritus, we had to conclude that when it was destroyed, all access to the realms beyond, the Soul Cairn, the Shade Perilous, and the Havoc Wellhead, had been broken. It was probably for the good. With all those names, you'd really think so. But it frustrated our goal. The reader may have heard of other doors, and he may be assured we attempted to find them all. Some are pure legend, or at any rate not traceable based on the information left behind. There are references in lore to Murok's Abyss, the Quarrington Mirror, the Mentellan Crux. That would actually be in Aetherius, where you found the Mentella, I believe, in Daggerfall, so not Oblivion at all. The Crossroads, the Mouth, a riddle of an alchemical formula called Jacinth and Rising Sun, and many other places and objects that are said to be doors, but we could not find. Some exist but cannot be entered safely. The whirlpool in the Abachian called the Maelstrom of Baal can make ships disappear and may be ported into Oblivion, but the trauma of riding its waters would surely slay any who tried. Likewise, we did not consider it worth the risk to leap from the Pillar of Thras, a 1,000-foot-tall spiral of coral, though we witnessed the sacrifices the Slodes made there. Some victims were killed by the fall, but others indeed seemed to vanish before being dashed on the rocks. Since the Slode did not seem certain why some were taken and some died, we did not favor the odds of the plunge. The Slode are these evil necromancer, slug, toad, Java the Hutt kind of people who live west of Tamriel, in this tiny little island called Thras. The simplest and most maddeningly complex way to go to Oblivion was simply to cease to be here and begin to be there. Throughout history, there are examples of mages who seem to travel to the realms beyond ours seemingly at will. Many of these voyagers are long dead, if they ever existed, but we were able to find one still living. In a tower off Zafrabel Bay on the island of Vardenfall in the province of Morrowind, there exists a very old, very reclusive wizard named Divaith Fur. He cures your corpus in Morrowind, and is kind of a Gary Stu character. So I'm not surprised that he's a super mage here too. He was not easy to reach, and he was reluctant to share with Morgan Xenos a secret door to Oblivion. Fortunately, my master's knowledge of lore impressed Fur, and he taught him the way. I would be breaking my promise to Xenos and Fur to explain the procedure here, and I would not divulge it even if I could. If there is dangerous knowledge to be had, that is it. But I do not reveal too much to say that Fur's scheme relied on exploiting a series of portals to various realms created by a Telvanni wizard long missing and presumed dead. Against the disadvantage of this limited number of access points, we weighed the relative reliability and security of passes and considered ourselves fortunate in our informant. Morgan Xenos then left this world to begin his exploration. I stayed at the library to transcribe his information and help him with any research he needed. Dust, he whispered to me on the first day of his voyage. Despite the inherent dreariness of the word, I could hear his excitement in his voice, echoing in my mind. I can see from one end of the world to the other in a million shades of gray. There is no sky or ground or air, only particles floating, falling, whirling about me. I must levitate and breathe by magical means. Xenos explored the nebulous land for some time, encountering vaporous creatures and palaces of smoke. Though he never met the prince, we concluded that he was an ash pit, said to be the home of Malakath, where anguish, betrayal, and broken promises like ash filled the bitter air. The sky is on fire, I heard him say next, as he moved on to the next realm. The ground is sludge, but traversable. I see blackened ruins all around me, like a war was fought here in the distant past. The air is freezing. I cast blooms of warmth all around me, but it still feels like daggers of ice stabbing me in all directions. This was Cold Harbor, where Molag Bal was prince, pretty much the worst of all Daedra. It appeared to Xenos as if it were a future Nirn under the King of Rape, that's Molag Bal's title. I mentioned he was the worst Daedra, desolate and barren, filled with suffering. I could hear Morgan Xenos weep at the images he saw and shiver at the sight of the Imperial Palace, spattered with blood and excrement. Too much beauty, Xenos gasped and went to the next realm. I am half blind. I see flowers and waterfalls, majestic trees, a city of silver, but it is all a blur. The colors run like water. It's raining now, and the wind smells like perfume. This surely is Moonshadow, where Azura dwells. Xenos was right, and astonishingly, he even had audience with the Queen of Dusk and Dawn in her Rose Palace. She listened to his tale with a smile and told him of the coming of the Nerevarine. My master found Moonshadow so lovely he wished to stay there, half blind forever, but he knew he must move on and complete his journey of discovery. I am in a storm, he told me as he entered the next realm. He described the landscape of dark, twisted trees, howling spirits, and billowing mist. I thought he might have entered the Deadlands of Mehrunes Dagon, which looked nothing like that whatsoever. But then he said quickly, No, I am no longer in a forest. There was a flash of lightning, and now I'm on a ship. The mast is tattered. The crew is slaughtered. Something is coming through the waters. Oh gods, wait, now I'm in a dank dungeon, in a cell. It's probably Vermina's realm. He was not in the Deadlands, but Quagmire, the nightmare realm of Vermina. Every few minutes there was a flash of lightning and reality shifted, always to something more horrible and horrifying. A dark castle one moment, a den of ravening beasts the next, a moonlit swamp, a coffin where he was buried alive. Fear got the better of my master, and he quickly passed to the next realm. I heard him laugh. I feel like I'm home now. Uh-oh. Morgan Xenos described to me an endless library, shelves stretching on in every direction, stacks on top of stacks. Pages floated on a mystical wind that he could not feel. Every book had a black cover with no title. He could see no one, but felt the presence of ghosts moving through the stacks, rifling through books, ever searching. This is probably Apocrypha, which I believe is featured in Dragonborn of this game, though I've never actually played that myself. Yep, it was Apocrypha, the home of Hermaeus Mora, where all forbidden knowledge can be found. I felt a shudder in my mind, but could not tell if it was master's or mine. Morgan Xenos never traveled to another realm that I know of. Throughout his visits to the first 4 realms, my master spoke to me constantly. Upon entering the Apocrypha, he became quieter, as he was lured into the world of research and study, the passions that had controlled his heart while on Nirn. I would frantically try to call to him, but he closed his mind to me. Then he would whisper, This cannot be. No one would ever guess the truth. I must learn more. I see the world, a lost illusion's shimmer. It is crumbling all around us. I would cry back to him, begging him to tell me what was happening, what he was seeing, what he was learning. I even tried using conjuration to summon him as if he was a Daedra himself, but he refused to leave. Morgan Xenos was lost. I last received a whisper from him 6 months ago. Before then it had been 5 years, and 3 before that. His thoughts are no longer intelligible in any language. Perhaps he is still in Apocrypha, lost but happy, in a trap he refuses to escape. Perhaps he slipped between the stacks and passed into the madhouse of Sheogorath, losing his sanity forever. I would save him if I could. I would silence his whispers if I could. Well, that was a very long book, but interesting. And you've been to Apocrypha in this game, I imagine. Is it actually full of books, or?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. Sometimes they have kind of messed up the Daedric realms when we actually see them. They don't match up to the description.
Yeah, the base realm is rather interesting, but there are ruined books everywhere, and books you can read everywhere as well.
I don't know if there's more than one person here with Inferior, if it's just this one Apprentice Ice Mage. If there's more people, hopefully she knows where to find them.
Lost!
No, I don't. Maybe.
Anybody there?
Alright, we should probably come back out here.
I was sure I heard something.
You got hit in the face with a spell.
What was that?
Alright, fine. Here I come. As long as no other mages show up, there shouldn't be a problem. I'm slow, you can see, because ice spells can slow the player, and occasionally enemies, but usually just the player. I think due to bugs rather than malice and forethought. Ice mages are nothing to me. I may use candlelight in here, because it's so dim in this fort. It's rare to find a truly dark place, but this is one. Food supplies. Oh, something else is coming. By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes.
What's that from?
Shakespeare, Macbeth, I believe, one of the witches.
The something wicked was Macbeth, showing up after a random musical number that was probably put in by somebody other than Shakespeare.
But it has been a while since I read that. I might forget which scene that this particular quote was from.
I don't know if I ever actually read Macbeth.
It's one of Shakespeare's better plays, and I say this as a person who generally hates Shakespeare.
All that comes to mind is the Hamilton song. They think of me, Macbeth, ambition is my...
I am not familiar with Hamilton, so... well, just the historical Hamilton, who was also greatly overrated, much like Nietzsche and Shakespeare. So now you guys know where I stand on that. I won't take that unusual gem there because I won't be doing that quest. I won't be cluttering up my inventory forever and ever and ever. Right.
And it could be worth money.
But I happen to know it's not worth money, so... Except, I mean, it gives you basically access to infinite amounts of riches once you've done the entire quest, but the entire quest is so long and tedious and annoying that...
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I've never actually finished it.
Yes, because it's so long, tedious, and annoying.
I think next time I start a character, I might just look up a list
honey
of
nut
what they
tree.
all are.
Even with that, it's long, tedious, and annoying.
Well, yeah, but then at least you can...
At least you have a chance, yeah. You gotta go to like 25 different dungeons and random places and find obscure things, and it takes all game long. Ooh, a briar heart. I'll hold on to that. That is a rare item. And you can buy it from random merchants, but not regularly enough. Look at riddles. Probably won't read it now. I've spent enough time reading this game so far. Okay, there's at least 2 of them left. It's taking me a long time to clear this dungeon. It turned out to be much bigger than I expected. So this one also requires a key. So head back this way and see what I can loot. Apples. Stored next to the bone meal for some reason. These guys. Ooh, that is a destruction skill book. Now normally it would behoove me to save these books for later on in the game. I think I'll take this for now and read it later, because I just really want to boost my destruction up to 40 as fast as I can. It's an incredibly valuable perk we can get at that point. So, a bit of inefficiency is worth it for the getting to that key power-up point faster. Not the good things on these shelves, probably not worth the trouble to search them all. Alright, now where are those guys? Something swirling over there. Is that a flame atronak? What is that? I'm betting this is a flame atronak. Not too worried if it is. What do you know? It's a flame atronak. Well, what's that sleeping over there? That's the real threat, perhaps. What? Oh, drat. It is something dangerous.
Never should have done
Thank you for restoring my magicka. Ice mages, by the way, can never be dark elves, but I want to run this one out of magicka fast. The Atronach is being very stupid, fighting the wrong target there. But luckily the ice mage is also being stupid, so that they go faster than before.
Oh, there's the key that I've been needing, I guess. And I am rich. I've got so much stuff I won't be able to sell it all. All these robes sell for a lot of money. I've got all that silver from before. Does this give me mana? Why, yes, it gives me mana rather quickly. Good to know. So it counts as an actual spell, Flame Cloak, then, and therefore has like a mana cost, rather than simply doing like a passive free effect. Although, to them it is free, it just has a mana cost, and therefore I get mana. Neat. Learn something every day. Usually I wouldn't actually approach a Flame Atronach just to get burned to test that, so... Well, I think I've cleared out everything that was in sight. Atronach satchel? Not Atronach satchel. Apothecary satchel. Alright. Man, this dungeon goes on and on and on and on and on. Here is the gateway. Oh, it's autosaving. That suggests to me there's a boss on the other side of that. It would suck to die here and have saved like a million years ago. But I'm not too worried about it. Normally you can offer Orthorn to her, if you wanted to.
So you're the one who barged into my home and laid waste to my project.
Pretty much.
How nice to meet you.
I guess I do kind of care who she is.
Names no longer matter. You may refer to me as the Caller.
Very mysterious.
Now,
Typical pretentious
do you have
high
a
elf.
reason for making such a mess. So you're just one of Arin's lackeys. That's disappointing. You show real promise.
You show surprisingly good
Come
judgment
here,
for an elf.
Kill my assistants. Disrupt my work. you've annoyed me, so I don't think I'll be giving you anything. I'm afraid you don't have
If you have
anything
Ortho,
worth
she'll accept him
trading.
for some reason.
Now, you can go back to your college and... How dare you!
So I just kind of cut her off there, and she's like that. Britain Power, keep casting at me, please. She teleports around, she summons Flame Atronachs constantly. But she's just feeling me at this point. So, yeah, teleport if you like, doesn't matter. I'll find you and kill you. Clear yourself up if you like, too. Teleport again, fine. Where'd she go? Oh, she's healing herself, fine. Not a problem. Oh, punching me, that'll work. It actually could, you know? Casting couldn't, but...
Alright, so the Atronach that you summoned is gone. That one is my Atronach. Hers all get dispelled when she dies. Same as ordinary summons, even though hers are scripted. And she has several of them. Another fun little Skyrim boss fight. But I think I'll read these books later. Hjalti's interested in them.
That's the important one, also interesting to me. And this one I think is from Oblivion, if I recall. Yeah. I don't know why it's terribly important. I guess I'll read them all and find out. For now, I'm simply interested in getting out of here and getting some fresh air. Soldier fragments do nothing. It's a sad thing. They seem like they'd be interesting items, but no, they do nothing. Wolf Queen Volume 8, that is a long book. It's moderately fun to read one. Ooh, that's a pretty good shield. If I was using shields, I'd be happy to have it. I am very happy to have that necklace, because I've still been using sucky necklaces up till now, and I still don't have the Amulet of Talos one. Yes, I'm still cranking about that. So when fighting mages, I maybe will equip that from now on. The more resist magic you have, the more additional resist magic is very helpful to you. So. Well. Back to near the entrance, where I can open the door and head out. Daedric's shield there. Looks totally impractical. I think he's been like on his feet adventuring for 28 hours now. So he's exhausted. Just wants to make his way back to some kind of nice inn, fall into a bed for a year. Who are those people over there who might not have to fight now? Oh, Hunter's being killed by a Spriggan. Well,
That's our own.
is it? No, Spriggans hate hunters. Spriggans hate everything.
The
Dirty
hunters
hippies.
becoming the hunted perhaps.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense, yes. Spriggans were in Oblivion, too. People rightly criticize them for their, supposedly being nature's guardians, but they're actually just kind of, hostile monsters that murder people and do obnoxious things. So. But there is Whiterun. It's rarely been this happy to see it. Thought I heard a wolf growling. There was a saber cat around here somewhere, so just move with caution. Might be it down there. And I don't have my shout ready, of course, so I better be very careful moving in until it is ready. That seems like a saber cat, alright. Okay. If I summon a flame Atronach, can I take a saber cat down now that I've been powered up and have better fire spells? I doubt it, but we'll see. If it goes for me, I do have countermeasure. Oh, it's already half dead. This may well work. Kind of like wolves like to run around. It's a problem for people using archery, but not for me. Well, that was actually pretty easy now that I've been stronger and it was already half killed. Oh look, it had a ring. With saber cats, there's no mystery to them having jewelry.
Lost!
Hostiles over there too? On the road? Kind of. Oh wait, no. I keep forgetting it's Arwis, but not necessarily hostile. Who is this fellow staring into space? Looks like an Imperial soldier. Why is he here staring into space?
Keep an eye out for spies.
Okay.
Maybe they're hiding among the rocks.
Maybe. Well, he can't wait to eat something sweet again. Goat cheese and maybe some ale. And he's a lot of stuff to sell. Almost home. well, almost to an inn, which is like home. This is the Battlewood farm that apparently makes them all their massive fortune somehow or other.
I've been looking
No,
for you.
couriers. They often deliver
Got
you
something I'm
letters
supposed to
requests of
deliver.
various kinds.
Your hands only. Let's see.
Don't know which...
Ah, a letter from the Jarl.
Oh,
Moving up in the world, eh? Looks like that's it. Got
I had
to
a
go.
guess. That's the one for the Jarl of Falkreath, for the Hearthfire questline, which I've never actually done. Yeah. Shelty Rose. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sidgeir, and I have the honor to be Jarl of the proud and ancient city of Falkreath. Tiny little village. Totally useless. The fame of your exploits across Skyrim has brought you to my attention. If you're interested in becoming a Thane of Falkreath, well, yes I am, I invite you to speak to me the next time you're in Falkreath. Aside from the honor that accrues to the title, my Thanes are entitled to a personal house carl. Useless. I also can tell you privately that a choice parcel of land in Falkreath would be available for your purchase should your services prove useful to me. I look forward to meeting you in person. I remain Jarl Sidgeir of Falkreath. He's one of the worst Jarls in the game. I mean, for one thing, his city sucks, but like beyond that, he just himself is like completely lazy and useless, and incompetent, and like a Thalmor, toady, and yeah.
It is a nice patch of land, though.
What is, what are the differences between the patches of land? Can you build any kind of house you want in any kind of land, or how does that work?
Good question, actually. So normally I build in the swamps, and that house is rather annoying because you can't have an enchanter's tower and bedrooms. So...
That sounds... You can't have bedrooms?
Well, I mean, you can have a master bedroom, but you can't have children's bedrooms. So if you want to adopt, then, you have to give up your enchanting. You have to give up...
like you can have one or the other.
Yeah. Okay. So for each wing, you have 3 rooms you can choose from. So the house in Falkreath I just recently bought and built, but only the house. So the next step is to make the house the main chamber and then build my mansion from there. But I haven't gotten that far yet.
I see. And I've never done any of that. I may do that on my next character, but this guy's not really interested in settling down anywhere.
Yeah. The main benefit I see from it is once you marry someone and have them somewhere, they make you gold.
Khajiit! I'm gonna put my amulet of Zen. Oh, it's already on. I wasn't using the Galder amulet for that stuff? That was dumb of me.
How can I assist? Take a look.
Well...
5 moon sugar?
5.
This is the jackpot. Anything good here? Who cares? I got 5 moon sugar. I'll buy one of these. I've been dealing with vampires a lot lately. Couldn't have them on hand. This is useless. Yeah, don't really need any of that. I should probably buy some lockpicks. I've been saying for a while that I'm tired of having few lockpicks in case I run into a serious chest, so pick up all of those. Most of these things are worthless. So now, I'll sell the things that are hard to sell elsewhere. Staves, kind of hard to sell. These are easy, obviously. Mage robes, kind of hard to sell, not too bad. I don't have any dragon bones, those are hard to offload. Amethysts, they're hard to offload. I could get the allure perk now, I think I mentioned that last time. But I'm not putting any investment into that at this point. Scrolls, hard to offload. These ones are pretty bad. Yeah, I don't really want any of those kinds of scrolls. Girl. Kind of want to keep those because they have some uses, but no. Yeah, maybe we'll just sell off some of these robes. This can be hard to get rid of. See, I got a lot of them for killing all those mages. That's easy to sell, though. Just running out of money. I could get better prices once I talk to a beggar and whatnot, but there we go. Not bad.
May your road lead you to...
Shelty is very happy about how this day is going. He's exhausted and ready to fall over into the nearest bed. But other than that, things are going quite well. In fact, he probably has a new rush of adrenaline from this moon sugar, so maybe I'll take care of buying and selling a few odds and ends, and then end things just after that, now that I've gotten back here.
They say the college has been snooping around mages in a burial.
That is an entirely sensible attitude. But there's Wuthrad. Ysgrimmur's terrible axe. Only good against elves, and not even really. Let's see what this guy has to say.
You tried mercenary work? It might
I
suit
didn't
you.
hear this argument, but this is his quest.
My Sapphire doesn't like that I've been spending so much time looking for my father's old sword. He fed his entire family with the gold he made using that weapon. I'm not about to let it gather dust in some thief's trophy.
It's just an ordinary sword.
I tracked it to a group of... I don't know why I'm saying this, but if you find it out in your travels...
That's right, they won't seek it
I'll be
out.
grateful to you.
Oh,
If you find
well,
it,
and they seek it out after all.
bring it
That's a
to
good
me.
excuse to go to that nice place. Now, where's that beggar? Here, beggar, beggar, beggar.
Do you get to the cloud district very
Ah, Nazim, everybody's favorite character. There he is. He's listening to the preacher, or his other favorite character.
My favorite. Oh, thank you. Divines bless your kind heart.
Mr.
I can't give her a gold coin,
Alright then.
because I gave one to another beggar. I don't grasp entirely how that works, but that is how it works. I think I might have mentioned, the more targets are in range, the better you get experience from that spell, so that's why it's suddenly giving me so much.
Well, let me see if these blacksmiths have any fire-resistant boots to replace the excellent set that I lost, unfortunately.
Or deal some damage.
Maybe some lockpicks? No. Ooh, that helmet is tempting. Because it's better than my current thing, although not by really enough to necessarily justify it. Yeah, I probably won't bother with it. But I can offload these things, and that, and that, and that.
Well, let me just take this opportunity to say that I have mixed feelings about this quest. Some bad things about it are that it's basically a boring fetch quest for no good reason, and that the caller is not really a character who's explored any further. She seems kind of important, but she's not. And she has no tie to the books either, there's no connection to the whole Saarthal plotline, which is a big waste. On the plus side, it's a quite fun dungeon, and a great way to introduce the player to all the types of enemy mages one by one, with some kind of, guide to them more or less in Orthorn. And it also gives us a very important kind of idea of what the college stands against and what kind of experiments they don't allow, which makes us care much more about the faction than we did before. So, good work on that side of things. I also like that they have a fun boss fight, of course, which are pretty rare in Skyrim, and even rarer in the Elder Scrolls, and often to resolve a conflict without fighting, like in Fallout or whatever. So overall good stuff, but flawed in a very obvious way.
Helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs.
Boots resist shock, but they're steel boots that weigh like 10 pounds, and they're a small percentage. No thanks. Well, I'll hit up the other smiths and stores and see if I can find anything good from them.
Always try to save general goods merchants for last, so you can offload the hard-to-sell specialty stuff first, and then have an easy time getting rid of all your treasure altogether. This time I had an in-character reason to talk to the Khajiit trader first, though.
Something for just about everybody in here. You look rather
She always says that, just trying to get you to buy
So you're an
potions and
alchemist
whatnot.
then.
I think I have plenty of potions myself, though she has a good anti-magic one. I might buy that. That's a weak one. Okay, so that, and these, and those, and I want that. Kind of want that one, I'll keep it. Any stamina ones? I have a lot of potions here, I don't really need all of these. But some of them aren't worthless, so I probably won't be using that. I've been saving for like a rainy day, when I might need to get 100 hit points really fast, but so far it hasn't happened. Keep that, I'll sell these. Running low. Oh, I can use that for a quest actually, so I probably will not sell that now on my task, I'll probably just begin that quest to get it over with while I have it. What are you doing here talking to this meat-selling person?
There's nothing a Nord woman can't do if she puts her mind to it.
Sure,
Once I've made
I mean,
enough money trading with the
Bretons
Khajiit
too and
caravans,
whatnot, but
I'm going to buy the bannered mare from Hulda. About the same as everyone else. They're the catfolk of Elsewhere. Great warriors, good traders. Way I hear it, Elsewhere ain't nothing.
she knows they have both
Skyrim.
jungles and
It's
deserts.
got
The Khajiit don't
tropical
even seem to know
forests
that.
and dusty badlands. It sounds awful. Before my ma and da passed,
This is the one who holds over the bannered mare wants to sell the
inn
inn to.
in Skyrim. I met one of the caravan leaders, Madron.
And if she dies,
He said
Isolde
he'd help
does
me
take
get
over the
started
place.
If I could bring him a mammoth's tusk.
How would she die?
Easier said than done.
I don't know, it happened at one time. I think vampire attacks could do that.
Oh.
Do that. If you find one, thank you.
I'm going to do this for her
We
because
should
she knows
turn
about the
that
Khajiit,
old
and I
cat's
might want to,
Maybe.
make some better connections
As
with them.
promised, let me show you a thing or two about
She herself is
my-
actually a drug dealer, although she claims the Khajiit are not all bad. And they're not all criminals, what people say. So, you know how it is with Khajiit. Well, I've leveled up a lot this game.
Got something for just about everybody.
Bellathor.
Some may call this
Do you have? No, you don't.
I call them treasures.
Necklace for just 5. That's not really worth it. It's too weak. Not really worth it. Not really worth it. Okay, your inventory sucks.
This has a random guard's uniform.
Yes. I think I might have sold him that a long time ago, and that's why it still has it.
Gotcha.
Actually, I can sell these to the mage. These things are hard to get rid of. I have so much stuff, it's just hard to offload all this junk and get the money. That kind of becomes a big problem in Skyrim pretty fast. That you just, cannot dispose of your treasure fast enough. Books. I've read that one already, don't need it anymore. I think I want to keep notes saying people are trying to kill me. Have these, though. I want people to know that I've been stomping on the Thalmor everywhere. I'll sell that, and I already know this one, and I guess I could be selling these to the court mage, though. What can I only sell to him? That's junk. These are hard to get rid of. It's junk. I picked up a lot of junk accidentally. These are just decorations, the butterfly in a jar, but there's a collection of those for different kinds of insects.
How many jars are there?
I think like 4 or 5 at least is what I've found, but I don't think I've ever found them all in one game.
Because I know the butterfly, and I think there's a bee somewhere.
Yes, there's a dragonfly somewhere too, I remember that.
Oh, I do remember that one.
I forget where most of these are, though.
I think one of them is in Honeysuckle, or whatever that place is where you burn the beehives.
Oh, like for the Thieves Guild, yeah.
Yeah.
Could well be. I haven't done those in a while. Selling a lot of potions just because they're weighing me down. I have so many of them at this point.
Do come back.
I'm still at a fairly high inventory amount.
Torchbug, that's the other one.
Oh yes, you can find those.
I don't think I've ever seen the moth, though.
I don't really remember which ones I've seen. Where is the moth one found?
Duskglow Crevice.
That sounds like a Dawnguard kind of place, but it could be wrong.
The butterflies in the alchemist's shop. The bee in Golden Glow, so...
Yes.
Oh wow, I got that name really wrong. Oh. Dragonfly in Dashnik Yal.
That is an orc stronghold. I think I know where it is. I think it's an unimportant orc stronghold, except that it has an ebony mine. And I believe it is over hereabouts.
Yeah.
Somewhere like that.
Looks about right. Wait, where were you looking?
I was saying it was east-ish of Windhelm. I think it's that one.
Looks like it's actually
the dragons reached. It seems this damnable conflict is...
I might be getting the names mixed up because I don't have it. It's not an important orc one.
Yeah, it's actually on the west side of the map.
Oh, is the one near Markarth?
Yeah. That's
okay, yeah. Maybe it's Narzlbur is the one near Windhelm? Scrolls? No good scrolls. Nobody has any good scrolls for me. And he doesn't have any new books either, I don't think. Fine. Okay, what can I sell to you? Here, have yourself some robes and... That book is just kind of a storybook. That or that. I've read that already. No longer really useful to me. I read that already. I'll hold on to these things, I guess. They're weightless anyway. I guess I'm mostly out of stuff that I can sell to him.
Remember, your mind is the best
I
weapon.
wish I could kind of, warn the Jarl over here that Ulfric is talking about having him assassinated and whatnot. Or Galmar was, I guess, but there's no dialogue to do that. They don't do it anyway. All talk. Well, let me see if I can land my jumpsuit. No, I totally can't. That did not go how I intended at all. I had to do the jumps to get over there to Yorland to have to do this long route around. Because I want to see if he has any good boots that I can wear. I can't believe it. I got those guys from that smith in Windhelm, right? The fire boots?
I don't remember where you got them.
Got a lot of steel to shape.
But maybe I
Gods be
redid that for some reason, because like something went wrong in some silly way or something. Maybe this time I fell through the floor.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that part.
Okay, not sure then. Oh, I can't sell anything else to him because nothing useful to buy. He always has the worst inventory in all of Skyrim. When joining the companions, he adds several new bad items to his inventory, but it's never a good inventory. Like Skyforged steel, which is worthless.
Well, nobody's gonna want to make the climb up to there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fine.
Can you kill the innkeeper of the Banded Mare?
Certainly, yeah. I wouldn't really want to.
Just stoke the fire.
Well, one of the achievements is getting the 1,000 bounty and all of
If
that.
it's work you need,
Oh, there'll be many ways to do that.
Well, yeah, but if you say normally marry Isolde,
Sure thing. It's
maybe
yours
you'd
for
like
a
to have
day.
an inn in the family.
Oh, I see. Keeping it in the family? Well, let's see what I can buy and sell from
Take a
her.
look.
I need to get some Idar cheese. Wheels. Anything else would do. And what can I sell to her? I have a pile of Alta one that's weighing me down. I've got... That was the main thing I had a ton of. She has some apple pies, it looks like. That's good to have. I think I'm doing alright for most other things. I need more Idar cheese wheels, but doing okay. Honey nut treats, could use more of those, and... Alright, well, I'm carrying a lot of food of various kinds.
I'll show you to your room.
You do
right
that.
This way.
I'll be cooking up dubiously illegal substances over there in your kitchen. Oh, good, I have 3 Idar cheese wheels, so I can make 3 of these things.
Just try not to eat them.
Yes. Only I could take the sweet roll. Alright. Now get out.
Let me know if there's
Slice
anything
Idar cheese,
else
it's
you
useless somehow. Can't even add like an Idar cheese wedge in the slice. Ouch.
As the vampire said, hey there, handsome.
Well. Been a long, busy day of adventuring for Hjalti. He's rather footsore at this point, and apparently he's low on drink. Problem solved.
Didn't you just sell a bunch of those?
Yes, I thought I had more. Or I thought I had more drinks, rather. So he's going to sleep a long time, then get up for his journey tomorrow morning. Well, hope you all enjoyed that episode. All that dungeon crawling, all that massacre of necromancers and Draugr and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. Next time we walk into the Graveyard's questline in Ustengrav. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great day.